What's that? Oh, I messed up. Hang on. I'm getting used to this.
We're learning.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, let's let some people get in the house. In the house. Oh, I gotta take myself off. Boom. Uh, Here comes one. Let me put the comments up. Boom. Give it 30 seconds.
Hmm. Perfect. I see me, so we're gonna get started. I didn't hear the music. I don't know if there was music in the background. I didn't quite hear it, but that's cool. Um, we're okay. There you go. So for those of you that were wondering what happened last week, and I feel like um, probably already know, um, we had some grading systems collapse where Todd what is was is um, but we're going through so much. I actually had the same experience the day before. So it was pretty interesting because my whole internet collapsed as well. And later I realized that the whole country had uh, a cellular, the griding system of the cell towers collapsed too. So we are in like this big, massive rebirth phase right now, and now moving into September. Happy September, everybody. It's going to be a huge month that will continue to support us in the death and rebirth, the closures, the endings, you name it. So, welcome everybody to this weekly show. I'm your host, Samantha, here on the Soulogy Network. So happy to have you, so happy that you're here. Um, I know I have like a little button that says comments. I'm just kind of a little afraid to. Well, it shouldn't be. Let's see. Oh, there you go. Hey, hello everybody. Welcome, welcome. Oh, cool, this works. Okay, so I get to see you guys and see the video all at one. So yeah, we're in this massive rebirth process, and every time I see so many things confirming it, it it makes sense why I was guided to call it that. Um, this month being equinox feels even more expansive and more powerful. So we are, and even with the equinox, we have all of these date portals and new moons and full moons that happen that support us all in our process. So there's so much as always, and I go with the flow with everything. And so I'll be sharing a couple of things, looking also your comments. But there is a significant shift. I wrote about it a couple of, I don't know, a few days ago, um, that in that it just feels that we've definitely started a new phase. All of us, no matter where you are, no matter what you're experiencing, no matter what's going on in your reality, everything feels like it just leveled up. Everything feels um, different in many different ways. that we continue to see and feel so many shifts internally, externally, in our personal realities, out in the collectives. This is um, just a normal part of the process that we will continue to see more and more and more and more and more. Yeah, new energies, absolutely. Um, with our continual death and rebirth, dissolution, the integration process, all of these different things. Um, there are moments where it's a little weird, it's a little bizarre because you are rebirthing and you are rebirthing from an aspect of yourself that you've never truly been. You've never truly embodied this aspect. So you feel different. You feel like a different person. You feel like you're just getting to know your environment for the first time, or you're just seeing things for the very first time. You are seeing like new characteristics, like you do kind of shift personalities, like you do everything about you changes at some level. And so continue to open up to it because this is exactly what we need. We need to continually honor the new, the upgraded, the higher self version of ourselves that will continue to come through. Because as we allow this to happen, all of these new things start to occur too. New doors, new opportunities, new realizations, new partnerships, new relationships, new realities. Everything starts to open up. Things that you always wanted to, things that have been in the back burner, projects, ideas, all of these things start to be seen. You start to perceive them. And they could not have fully come into your reality before you went through your death process, the dissolution. You needed to come through as a higher version of yourself. And so many of us are going through that right now. I mean, this is just a never constant, right? Never ending process of becoming, it is becoming the person that you always wanted to, the person the version of yourself that you probably saw in other people, people that you admired, people that you looked up to. You are becoming that. You are becoming much more open. You're becoming much more balanced. And the new realities couldn't have come through unless you reach that point within yourself. And it's super exciting. The other exciting thing is that as you continue to open up to this new version and new aspect of yourself, everything flows much easier, much smoother, and much faster. This isn't the old way of trying to figure it out and trying to control everything and trying to plan everything in advance from your head. This is now holding that frequency, holding that new version of yourself, and allowing your higher self universe to do everything else, to put the people that you are meant to meet, put the things, the circumstances in front of you that are going to guide you to the next person that's going to make the next connection, to provide with the next opportunity. Everything just really does come to you. You gravitate to it. And it's so much easier than the old way, the way that we were used to creating, the way that we believed we needed to have or know everything in advance is no longer the case anymore. The things we need, the people we need to meet, the opportunities that will support in our next purpose and mission, they align so beautifully and so miraculously. This is kind of a really prime example with, me being on the show, me meeting Todd and connecting with him, um, him being able to build this beautiful network, and then just, it's like, I kind of just slipped into it miraculously. And here we are, and you guys as well being here, being in the community, being in this call. You are in alignment we are in alignment with one another. We are in alignment with this new community of higher self beings, light beings. Um, and that's just the beginning. This is just the beginning. And sometimes I like to say we haven't even tapped into it yet. We are just learning. We're in this rebirth process where we are each day learning to be this aspect, learning how to function, learning how we actually do things, because everything changes. When I say everything, there is no exclusion, like nothing is ever the same. The way we go about our day, the way we function, the way we flow, everything is so different. Um, and even if you look back a year ago, 2 years ago, then 3 years ago, there are significant changes that I feel we can all really pinpoint. We're not where we were. Some of us are not in the same location. Some of us are not in the same building, the same occupation. Like there has been massive shifts and massive changes within us. Um, and it's all supporting us in so many ways and in so many levels. The it's all going back to what I said, we cannot there's only so much we can do with the realities we were in 3 years ago. We did everything, we experienced a lot of things, but there's a cap where it's like that's it. Can't go any further. I can't expand further. I needed to change. I needed to make drastic changes in my reality. Massive changes, yes, across the board. So much of that, absolutely. And there was a push. I needed to push myself. I needed to get out. I needed to quit. I needed to leave my parents' apartment. I needed to, eventually, I needed to leave the entire state and country, because I had reached a level in that reality where that was it. I did everything that I could. I expanded as much as I had, as much as I was able to. I had grown so much within that physical reality, but I knew that there was more. I knew that I had to go to the next level. I knew that I had to completely open myself and trust, letting go of what I knew, how much money I had, how much savings I actually had none, when I quit. But I had to continuously rely on that level of trust, trusting that I was going to be okay. While my 3D reality had a level of security, I had a level of comfort, um, that was no longer w- that was no longer more valuable than myself, than my journey, and than this process. So your values shift completely and totally. And the more that you open up to valuing yourself, valuing your journey, valuing your your process, the less the less value 3D holds, right? So you are no longer um, worried and scared of leaving it. You're like, you know what? I'm ready for more. I'm ready to just move out of this, open myself up, keep feeling, keep surrendering, keep honoring the body and everything that it's going through. Um, and little by little, things are going to open up. Things are going to open up. You're going to be supported. You as a higher self will be way more supported than your ego self will ever be. And so knowing this, feeling into this, and even feeling into the whole entire opposite side of the spectrum, I had to feel into what if this? What if I can't do this? What if I can't be supported? What if I can't make it? What if I have to go back to my job? Like all of these what ifs will come up. Open yourself up to continuously feeling that. Don't get stuck in just regurgitating. Don't get stuck in just repeating these words and allowing those loop cycles to just continue. Go deeper into feeling them, feeling what you're saying, feeling what you're thinking, feeling it with your whole body so that your body can then clear, dissolve. And the more that you do, the more that this happens, the more you come into a space of, it's gonna be okay. I have no idea how. Don't ask me where support is gonna come or how it's gonna come or from whom is gonna come because everything that I thought, the support that I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be supported in this way or that, somehow it just kind of fell through. But having that, holding on to that actually supported me in quitting. So I needed that. I needed to at least have something to say, oh, okay, I have this, I'm gonna be okay. And then I jumped, and then months later, it all fell through the toilet. But by that time, I was already confident enough to keep going, confident to say, okay, I've been okay. Things have miraculously appeared. Um, Let me keep going. I have to keep going. There's no choice. I have to continually open up and surrender. So I'm reading quickly through comments. Um, we are definitely not yet who we will be, and that's super exciting. We're just tapping into this new aspect of ourselves. Um, Hi, welcome, welcome. Trust the journey, absolutely. Trust in what doesn't make any sense. Trust in the uncomfortability of it all. Trusting in higher self guidance. Trusting in everything that comes from within your body, trusting everything that your body is going through, just like the way we trust in our hearts to pump blood, our stomach to process food. We don't question that. We just allow it. Everything that's happening within the physical body right now is huge. It's massive. We may not understand, we may not really comprehend, it may scare the shit out of us at times, but there is a reason for it. There's a higher purpose. Your body knows exactly what it's doing and why it's doing it and when it does it and all of these different things because it functions from a much higher level of consciousness. And so there will be moments where we will have to leave absolutely everything and everyone to go deeper into our body's process, disconnecting from everyone, traveling, relocating, whatever the case may be, for however long, so that your body doesn't have the distraction or doesn't have the interference or doesn't have anything else to deal with or anyone else. It's just you and your body in this sacred space, sacred connection of clearing, of feeling, of anchoring, of integrating all of these different things, which is part of the rebirth and part of the death and rebirth. It's all part of the process. Everything is at some level simultaneously occurring. And we're all going through it at some level. I don't care how open, how awake, where you are, what you believe. Every single person at some level is in this journey at wherever they are. Absolutely. Um, Trusting, continuing to trust, and continuing to feel, where am I not? Where do I feel a little bit scared that things won't work out for me? Where am I feeling a little bit hesitant about moving in the direction that I'm being shown? Where do I feel resistance inside for whatever reason, for whatever lack of self-belief I may have? Where am I still holding on to that? Where am I still not fully in this deeply sacred connection where I know things are working out for me? I'm being supported. There's an enormous amount of lack that we have to go through and that we have to feel into. Not and there, it's so deep and it's quite in our unconscious and subconscious. We will go through levels of going deeper into our self-doubt, self-worries, self-sabotage, all of these different things that we have to feel into and allow the body to just work and resolve because it all stems from separation. The separation held within the physical body is extreme, and there's so much of it. So just because you've gone through clearing the self-doubt and the self lack or whatever the case may be, doesn't mean it won't happen again. In fact, it will. We will all go through deeper layers of this. The fear and the lack are just hugely embedded programs within us. So um, you will go through many different phases where you will have to feel it all over again, but just at a deeper level, right? At a deeper level within yourself. Yeah, this allows us to connect to different aspects. when we talk about aspects, ego aspects, there's no number. It's just countless. There's just so much. There's so many. We just continue to open up to it all, to them, to all these aspects, more and more and more and more and more. And our bodies start to just go through a much easier and smoother process, clearing and releasing and dissolving and integrating. So when we talk about the death and rebirth cycle, at the beginning it may feel very daunting, and I'm sorry, there's background noise. Um, because it's so scary, right? There's a deeply embedded fear of death in every single one of us. So we are afraid of this. We're afraid of the dissolution, the death. We go through this deep phases of grieving process, and we keep resisting it. The beauty is that it's happening much more in every single one of us, and we're all connecting and coming into this space of like, oh, wait a minute, it's not that bad. It's not as bad as I thought. Okay, I feel lighter. Okay, this is a new feeling, but I'm okay, right? It wasn't the end like I might have thought. It is super daunting, quite overwhelming, scary, all of these different things that happen. Um, and even just opening up and not letting those feelings hold you back, but just continuing to open up to them, continuing to open up to your process, until you go through as many of these as you need to where it's like, oh, this is just a really normal part of this process. In fact, it's so interesting because I have remembered going through death and rebirth processes way before I was even remotely awake to any of this. And it was really interesting because in that moment, I was like I knew that there was something going on here. There was something different going on. I could feel that I was a different person. But I had absolutely no clue what was going on at that point. But it was just very interesting to just kind of like navigate and just kind of like, wow, feel something shifted. Something's going on inside of me. I could feel myself. Um, and just navigating, just observing, just noticing how I was coming, like I was acting differently. I would do things differently. I would say things different. Like all of these different things were happening, and I had absolutely no clue. But it's whatever. I was conscious of it. Something was happening, but again, I had no idea what was going on. Um, the interesting thing is that, now looking back, I'm like, oh my God, I've been going through death and rebirths for longer than I thought, longer than I've been awake. And even recently, I actually saw, and I've never seen this by the way, so if you guys have kids, I just have a really close connection to my neighbor's kids. She had a birthday a month ago, and it was quite noticeable that she was going through a death and rebirth cycle, and she's 6. So it was just fascinating to see that, kids, teenagers, all of these different, no matter what age you are, we are all going through this process right now. We are all going through just massive, massive deaths, collective deaths. And I'm talking at every level. We're talking physical, transition out of the body, but we're also talking within this body. And when I saw that, for her being that young, and again, I'm not saying that she's the only one, I'm sure many, 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 many kids are going through this. Um, it was quite fascinating. So there's a lot going on that we just have to continue to open up to and go with the flow. I'm going through some comments here. Hello, welcome, welcome. Thanks for being here and joining me. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of things happening to a lot of people that are not consciously awake. So, the biggest thing, and I'll share, some of my experiences. The biggest thing is to continuously stay present and be so wide open so that you hold the field of love and you hold the field of everything is okay, even though everyone around you may not fully know what's going on, other adults may not know what's going on, or kids may not know what's going on. You get to hold the entire field of the reality that you're in. So in that moment, I was noticing this, this child going through it. It wasn't, I didn't feel the need to like explain what was going on or like go into a whole lecture about this whole thing. It was just me continuously opening up and just breathing and just being present so that everyone within that physical reality can breathe and can just open up and not feed into the fear, oh my God, what's going on? What do I need to do? Whatever the case may be. And which is exactly what happened. Everybody was just, pretty calm, just pretty open. She needed a lot of space. And so, giving her that space, being there, in whatever capacity that she needed um, to receive whatever support she needed to receive, I was there. When you're fully open, you know what other people need, the support that they need. So allowing yourself to not get into your head about, oh my God, what do I do? What do I need to do? What does she need? Because it keeps you out from being in the present moment, will allow you to support other people that are going through this process in a way that they feel supported. You may not need to say anything. And in fact, a lot of times you don't need to. There are very little words sometimes that we say or we use because our energy is way louder and much more powerful. All we have to do is continually hold ourselves so that hearts are wide open, minds, bodies, and fields are wide open, so that everyone within our reality can feel and can let go and feel safe and feel supported. And that, in a lot of cases, will be enough. That will be enough, you know. If there is more, if there's more to do, physical support, verbal support, whatever the case may be, you will know. You will know exactly what to do, exactly what to say, exactly when to say it, and exactly how to say it. As long as you continue to stay wide open, as long as you continue to hold that frequency, and it'll be, it's a lot easier than we think because the other person will also give you signs, or the other person will do different things or say things that will allow you to know exactly how they need to be supported. It's beautiful because, talking about this little girl, girls, there's two, they're much more confident about telling me, kind of what they need, telling me or just showing me, okay, I need some physical support right now, So whatever it is, the hug, the embrace, um, they love to twirl, they love me to spin them around. All of these different things are actually really, really supportive. For kids and even adults, it's funny because as kids, we love, the merry-go-round, we love churning, we love all of these things. But as an adult, when we become, when things shift, spinning is very uncomfortable and very scary. And I know a lot of us have been going through that too, the dizziness, feeling like everything spins, feeling like, you know, we're in this boat, which is all part of your Merkaba. That your Merkaba will start to spin really, really fast, and you will get really, really dizzy. And this is a huge part of this process. It's part of the rebirth as well. But our linear head mind sometimes takes over, and we're like, "Whoa, I gotta stop," or "What do I do to stop it?" or "What do I?" Everything just is this fear because we're not used to it. But it's interesting, like I said, when we're kids, we love it. They just can't get enough. They just keep asking over and over. Every time they see me, they like ask for it. And it's beautiful because, kids are much more connected to this energy. My kids know what this energy is, whatever level. And so they gravitate so much and they just want it. For us, it's also part of connecting to that aspect of ourselves and that child aspect of ourselves that knows that this is a very normal thing, knows that we are meant to spin. We are meant to, this is actually what allows us to vibrate at a higher level. When your Merkaba starts to kick in and it starts to spin really, really fast. The ego linear mind wants to grab, wants to anchor, wants to hold on to the ground, hang on to the ground. And you just have to continually open up to, where am I doing that out of fear? Where am I doing this because I'm so afraid of losing control? I'm so afraid of losing myself. I'm so afraid of everything just shifting and changing and spinning so very fast. When in reality, because in reality, what's happening is you are breaking an enormous amount of stuff. What's coming through is an enormous amount of conditioning to the fear programs, the survival mechanisms, the protection mechanisms, all of these different things you're actually breaking through because you are meant to fly and we are meant to float. We are meant to elevate. But it's so scary because we have forgotten what it feels like. And so every time it happens, we want it to stop. The biggest thing is that as you go through that, really let yourself be in a space where you can. if you need to just be in bed. I was in bed when this happened, when it happened really intensely, I was in bed for days. I had to move very, very slow. Everything was just beyond uh beyond what I could had experienced before. And it was just this, it was I had to allow myself to go with this flow. I knew what was happening because I had heard it from other people. And so I was like, oh, this is happening. Okay, wow. Um, moving very slow, becoming super present because everything you do wobble, you're like super, super flighty, floaty. Um, and it was intense. It was very I couldn't really do much. I couldn't go outside, couldn't I was like, okay, I'm just gonna be in bed and continue to honor this process. Um and so I don't know, it was almost a week that I had to go through that and just allow, just surrender. You will your whole life will kind of change in that moment and after that. And you just have to continuously allow it, surrender, keep feeling deeper into it. If you are being triggered with a lot of fear or anxiety, in fact, that did happen. I had to go out and get myself some food. The level of anxiety and fear was extreme. Couldn't even go outside. Couldn't even like go out, look out my window because the amount of fear was extreme. Because at that point, your light triggers an enormous amount of fear, subconscious amount of fear, and yeah, it's gonna be intense. So just breathe, consciously breathe. Do whatever you know, or not know, and not everything you know. Do what your body is guiding you to. And so at that point, it was like lavender oil and my Mexican version of Shazandra and ashwagandha for like the nervous system. Putting my hand over my heart, walking really slow because I was like, I need to get some food. Um, just breathing through each step. I don't even think anyone noticed. If not, people would have really thought I was going. Um, something was really wrong with me. But I managed. I went to the store, got back, and I was like, okay, this will probably be enough to keep me afloat for a few days. The way that we move, the way that we walk, in the higher realms is quite the interesting experience. I've been in bed and out for the majority of last week, yes. So much is happening right now. Continue to honor it for sure. The way that we move and float and fly within this physical body is something we all have to relearn. Animals are amazing, yes. Oh, so supportive. Um, let yourself be guided. As an ego, we think we know it all. And even after we awake, we go to the spiritual ego then. Whatever, ego is ego, but the ego thinks it knows it all. Ego thinks that the ego is very resistant to letting go and relearning things all over again. And so just continue to open yourself up so that you don't feel the need to keep holding on to ego. And so your higher self, light body, can start to guide you. It will show you everything. It will guide you through everything. It will support you in every way. You just need to allow it. You need to let it. You need to open yourself up, breathe consciously so that you can continuously step in the direction that you're being guided. Follow those steps. Trust, going back to trust. Oh, that's beautiful. Whatever kind of animal you're connected to, they're so supportive and they're coming through quite a bit right now. And so letting whatever else is supporting you right now, allowing it come up, allowing yourself to be loved, allowing yourself to be supported. The level of support that is available for each and every single one of us is nothing like we've ever experienced before. It is nothing like we ever thought we were worthy of. The level of support that we are receiving is so beautiful and so huge that we have to continuously feel into where we're pushing this away, where we're still denying and rejecting it because at some level we think that we have to prove ourselves. We have to keep working hard. We have to keep trying. Trying separates you. Trying keeps you believing that you have to do something else first. You have to, that you are not deserving of the love and the support that's already available for you. Feeling into the word try and catch yourself when you're using it. Catch yourself when you're thinking it. Catch yourself when you are embodying this frequency so you can feel it, so that you can feel where this is running inside of your body, creating the resistance, creating the heaviness, creating the very same energy that you are unconsciously not wanting. So it's very paradoxical, it's tricky, it's all of these things that we don't know we do. We don't realize this. And there comes a moment for each and every single one of us that we break. We break inside. We have to break and get so fed up with the trying and the resistance and making things hard and making things more painful for ourselves, more hurtful for ourselves. We're hurting ourselves. And in fact, we've always been doing this. At some level, we've just been really unconscious of. And so just feeling into where is this coming from? And why do I feel the need to keep hurting myself? Where am I still punishing myself? For whatever reason, there's tons of things. And the biggest thing is to just open up. You don't need to know details in that moment. Don't need to know exactly what existence and what life and what timeline. Just allow yourself to feel fully with your whole body this frequency inside of you so that we don't continue to perpetuate. This is the very same energy that creates 3D because 3D The 3D realms are all about creating more hurt and creating more separation, creating more discord, creating more suffering. And the only reason it exists is because we have it all inside of us in a level that we haven't been conscious of. And so the more we're able to connect, to feel, and be fully present with these energies, the more we're going to allow the body to go through all the clearing and cleansing of it so that we no longer support it and allow it in any part of our reality. So just feel into that. Everything that we experience stems from ourselves. It stems from us. Somebody had mentioned we are the creator. We are the source of everything. When we say that, though, the ego likes to, what's the word? It likes to separate. Simple word. It believes that it creates this, but not this. It keeps rejecting um, the things that is not, all of the things that that it blames and it rejects and it fights, and it believes that that's not part of its creation, but it is. Everything is. The more that we start to open up to the aspect within ourselves that has created, that lives from that energy, that embodies that energy, the more we're going to be able to no longer function from that. And obviously the process the body goes through exactly the, death and rebirth, what we've been talking about. The body goes through an enormous amount of emotional clearing, an enormous amount of mental and physical purging, so that it no longer holds these frequencies and is able to create the complete opposite. We are meant to create a whole new world, but not from the old foundations, not from the old ways of thinking, not from the old beliefs, not from the old ideals, not from the old rules, not from our old aspects, which is why we go through so much ego death, because ego creates separation, which is the foundation of 3D and even 4D. The beauty is that right now we're going through such deep acceleration points that we're being gifted the opportunity to work through so much in a very short amount of time, which is also, it's so funny. It's very uncomfortable for the ego, because the ego, no matter how conscious it could be conscious, semi-conscious. Well, technically the ego isn't, but we're conscious about the ego, of the ego. It likes to perpetuate. So you can be open and spiritually awaken and going through this process. But as soon as the ego finds a comfort zone, for, however uncomfortable or however painful it is, it can stay there for a significantly long time, which I've seen, and I'm seeing quite a bit of, just seeing different things and different aspects of myself being embodied in other people. I see this coming up and coming up, and I observe and I feel deeper into it, and I can see that the ego can get comfortable in the very deep, intense, uncomfortable aspects of the ascension process. So just opening up to this, opening up to the anywhere you've kind of anchored and just kind of set yourself in this comfort zone so that you can be more open and, just kind of pass through it, transcend, transform, move on. It doesn't mean that you won't go through that experience, but the next time it comes around, you'll know, oh, okay, I've hit a new level. I'm going inside, I'm going deeper inside of myself. So it's a little bit different. The biggest thing is to breathe, as I always say, and allow yourself to be more open. And even, and this happened at the beginning of the year, there was a phrase that I was quite adamant and I was using quite a bit, and I will come back to it, where I'm consciously, I'm constantly saying, I want to know more. I'm ready to know more. I'm ready to go deeper into my truth. I'm ready to see more. I'm ready to feel more. I am so ready. And I will continue to say this when I feel the guidance to, because you will never stop. We never stop seeing more. We never stop realizing more. We never stop because there is an endless amount of things to see and an endless amount of angles to see it from. There's an endless amount of purposes to see things. There is an endless amount of, because we're consciousness and we're always expanding, right, as a universe. So we will always need to open up to this very normal, natural, organic thing, which is being able to see more. The more you expand, the more you're able to see from a whole new level of perception and different angles. When we get stuck, because it happens to all of us. We spiritually awaken, we're conscious, we're in this ascension process consciously, but we kind of get stuck, stagnant in these beliefs or these concepts or these perceptions, and we hang on to them. We just keep hanging on to them, and we keep waiting, and we keep wanting things outside to happen, or we keep expecting and asking, when is this happening? When is this? And when is that? The biggest thing is to be open enough to asking or to wanting to see more, wanting to know more, because everything that you guys are asking, everything that we ask, we already know. The answers are already inside. this becomes a really important part of each and every single one's process because it's very easy to just lay back and just have other people answer questions for us. I'm not saying that, don't do that because we do need, there's always, we're here to provide support and guidance, and so people asking questions support. But this is kind of a different energy that I'm talking about, where it's like we just kind of lay back and we just continue to ask, so when does this happen, or when is this, and arrival, or whatever the case may be. We keep wanting to know and expecting things to happen outside of ourselves, or we want somebody else to answer this for us. We want times, like exact days, and when is this going to happen, how long is this going to take, and all of these things, which are all coming from here. And when something's coming from here, we are not allowing ourselves the opportunity to feel them here. This is where, well, technically the whole body has answers, but when we go deeper into the body, we will start feeling the answer. And there are aspects within ourselves that actually don't want to know. We want to just keep being in that waiting game, or keep being in that loop, or whatever the case may be. And so that's always that is going to be a really important aspect to really connect to as well. What do I not want to know? Like, yeah, I'm asking and I think I want to know, but I really don't. It's too scary. It's too, whatever the case may be, right? When you start to feel into what you say, what you're asking, what you're thinking, there is going to be so much that happens within the body to support you so that you start to access your own answers from within yourself, which will, which is where what this is all about. This is where we're all heading. This is um, what's happening right now. This is all meant to bring us back into our own self-knowing, self-mastery, where all of our answer, where we do everything, we're guided to feel our own answers and also open up to, the levels of support that other people are meant to gift us. Hi, welcome, welcome. Question. So does old pain in the body from physical injuries, surgeries, and abuse come up to be processed again? Um, well, it's actually a really good question because I am having a lot of, I'm having certain people in my groups and classes and stuff talk, share that they are actually going through that. They're going through um, pains from old injuries and full old abuse and experiences. And it will, so short answer is yes. But you're meant, what happens is when you do feel that come back is because your body is ready to clear it at a deeper level and at levels that it didn't clear the first time it happened. So in fact, I had a recent relative too, that went through a stomach thing that she had gone through, or that she hadn't gone through in like 14 plus years. And it's a really rare, like, it was quite, you know, confusing to um, doctors because they're like, they don't understand why it happened again. But yes, you will go through a deeper clearing of everything that you have experienced in the physical body. The biggest thing is to continue to open up, continue to just really allow your body to guide you through the process. Because it's very likely that when we went through those physical things, um, we were more in the guidance of external people, professionals. And so this time around, it's giving us the opportunity to follow our body, our light in the body, guiding us through it, um, repairing, doing all the healing, all of these different things. And so that's the shift too, of like, okay, now can I fully surrender to my light body while I go through this again, quote unquote, feeling it again or going through the emotional. A lot of us did not go through the full emotional clearing when it happened. So a lot of what will be triggered as a, it always will be emotions, or not always, but for a certain phase, it will be the emotion. So going through all of the emotions that weren't fully processed at the time that you went through that are probably going to come up so that you can, your whole body can process and release it more fully. Yeah, good, good. Glad the supports. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for opening up to this beautiful, expansive um, chat talk. Yeah, there's a lot of that. You know, we were going through a lot of like um what is it, Western medicine and Western, you know, Western based medicine processes. And so going through and clearing that, all of that is what happens. So just continue to open up to it. Go all in. When go all in into everything is one of the biggest things that I will share right now as I close. Go all in into everything, everything you feel, everything that's coming up within your physical body. And I even sometimes see myself like those, what is it? What is that word? Um, going into it, I see myself kind of like jumping from a platform or a hill and going just diving into the water, into the sea, or into the ocean. Um, you know, having whatever visual supports you so that you can go all in, so that you can go deeper. You know, sometimes different visuals come through for me. Um, or even just like talking to my body and just allowing my body to relax, allowing my body to just sit back. Because even when we're sitting down and even when we're laying down or, you know, in a horizontal position, your body is still tight. Your body is still, you know, hanging on. And so I have gone through going into different, you know, parts of my body and just like talking to myself and just saying, relax, you can relax now. And when I can feel my body's deepening the relax, which tells me, oh, I wasn't actually that relaxed, even though I thought I was because I'm laying down. But there's so many different things that go inside of our bodies all the time that no matter what position you're in, your body holds so much. Your body holds an incredible amount of tension. It closes up, you know. everything around you, it really does, um, it's huge. You could be laying down on something, or you could be laying down and, you know, see something that automatically triggers your body and like forces it to close. This is why your environment is so important. This is why upkeeping where you are, upkeeping your space, cleaning it, clearing it, moving things that you're guided to is so incredibly important, because everything that is around you in your physical reality, your body's holding on to it. Your body holds that object in place energetically. And if you have something around you that has that triggers a memory or an experience that wasn't loving and supportive, then your body will automatically just shut down. And so this is why we get rid of a lot of things. This is why we have to just, purge a lot of physical things. And you will have you'll come into a phase aspect that you need more space. So you actually don't want to have a lot of things around you. You don't want things to clutter. You can feel everything. You can feel the tension in your body by what's around you. And I'm sure we all have had this occur. And so we're constantly like upkeeping, and we're constantly looking at, what to move, or what to keep, what to remove, what to add, so that our bodies are fully supported in this process, no matter what. Um, and again, going through like checking in your body, checking in different parts of the body so that you can lay down and just fully open up and fully relax and just fully release. So, hope that supports. Again, thank you all for being here. It was such a beautiful, expansive space to share with. You're more than welcome to keep sharing and keep asking. Thank you all so much for being part of this beautiful community. Thank you, Todd, again. Um, I'm good on time, so just wanted to again say thank you. Keep opening up, keep allowing, keep embracing everything, keep breathing. We're all in this together, really, truly. We're all supporting each other so, so very much. And will continue to just grow and grow and grow. So, with that, thank you again, and we'll see you guys next time.